Good night, everybody. It's the late night or really early morning, whatever you want to call it. Many Face Publishing / I'm Just a Fan. I'm gonna probably start a new page. I'm Just a Fan, and that is mainly gonna be about sports because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to sports. Really, a lot of topics. This channel is really based on a variety of different topics, but I want to, really specifically, stick to sports, talk boxing, football, baseball, basketball, whatever, hockey, golf, whatever I love sports. So, I haven't really been into basketball the last few years unless it's playoff time, and I don't know, I haven't really been in tune with these games like I used to be. And it's just the games are just so, to me, it just seems watered down, man. And, the lack of defensive integrity and intensity, the lack of effort by some of these teams. Like I was listening to Ticket Live just now. Shout out to him, Ticket TV, and he's talking about the how the Bucks lost the game to the Portland Trailblazers. And I never liked the trade with Dame Lillard going to the Bucks anyway, because you lost Drew Holiday, which was your defensive, juggernaut as far as, guarding point guards. You need somebody that can guard point guards. And he was key to them winning the championship. And I feel like, numbers and all that is great, but, it's your impact on the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you are you impacting the game? And I feel like Dame is a great player and Giannis is great, but it's not just, you got to have a team. And I just didn't think that putting those two together was a good fit. I just, I'm just a fan. This is why I want to start my channel. I'm just a fan. I don't think they were a good fit. I think that, one, Dame's not really a playmaker. Giannis needs a playmaker. He needed a guy like a Chris Paul, a younger Chris Paul, somebody that can, or even if they would have traded and got Chris Paul and kept Drew Holiday, that would have been a great backcourt. Because now Drew Holiday can score. Chris Paul, he can score, but he's not what he used to be. So now you would have had a guard that would have gotten guys in their spots and gotten guys the ball. And gotten guys the ball to the point where they can score easy baskets. Dame's not going to offer you that. Not saying he doesn't have the ability to. He can make plays here and there, but he's more of a scorer. He's an assassin. So when you don't have somebody that can make plays, it's going to be a lot of one-on-one basketball. Chris Middleton can make plays, but he's not really a point guard. So it's like, who's their playmaker out there? Who's the guy that's going to distribute the basketball and get these guys easy baskets or wide open shots? They don't have that. Who's setting the offense? Like, Dame is considered a point guard, but he's not a traditional point guard. He's more of a shooting guard, the way he plays the game. He takes over 20 shots. Dan, I think he takes around 20 shots a game. So you need a point guard that's not shooting the ball like that. You need a guy that's going to distribute and then play defense. So when you got a guy, when you don't have that type of defensive effort coming from your star players, and you don't have those dogs, like, those role-playing dogs that get after it every night, like those PJ Tuckers or, like the Drew Holidays, you don't have those guys like that on your team, you're going to lose a lot on defense. And that's what's happening to the Bucks. They don't play no defense, man. And, Brook Lopez is a great defender, but he's like, he's not going to guard guards and he's not going to play on the wing and all that. He's going to be in the paint. So you need perimeter defense, and I don't think they have that. And then you got Doc Rivers, who, you know, is a good coach. I don't know if he's good for that team. Only time will tell. You know, he was cooking James Harden when he went to the Clippers this year. Now they turned it around. So I think we got to give him some time to turn around. But I'm not sold on Doc Rivers being the savior, because he was in LA, he didn't get it done. He went to Philly, he didn't get it done. You know, he got it done in Boston, but, you know, he blew a lot of 3-1 leads after that. And I think you got to know something too. The players matter. You know, coaching and players is a great combination, and it matters to have a great coach. And it matters to have great players around that coach. The players that he had effort guys on that team. So you got those Kendrick Perkins, you got he had Tony Allen, I think he had Garnett, Ray Allen and them. You know, those guys put effort out there. All those other dogs they had a bunch of dogs on that team. I think I forgot that exact team, but they had a bunch of wolves on that team. Rondo, like, these guys get after it and they play defense. And it was about effort. And, you know, they say that's something you can't coach. But I think, you know, that makes sense. And it also does, how hard do you want to play for your coach? You know what I'm saying? And are you focusing on defense in practice? You know? You know, their offense, you know, you can't just, you know, throw the ball around to 3 people and expect the shot to go in, and that's successful. You know, it sets up off defense. You get transition baskets. You can get and ones. You can get open threes. You know, but you're not playing off defense. You're playing a half-court game where you're just running and gunning. You're not really gonna give your defense a chance to really set and make plays, and they don't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch the game, but it don't seem like they communicate very well on defense. But you can't lose to the Portland Trailblazers. That's a bad loss. That's a real bad loss. You know, you just can't lose that game. But, you know, they'll learn, and hopefully they'll get better, man. You know, but, you know, Doc, you know, he's going to have to really coach his behind off, man, and show, you know, that he's still an elite coach, because this is going to be a piece of work. Even though they got a great record, that was based off of just pure talent of Giannis and Dame. Now, if you want to advance in the playoffs, you got to get more responsible defensively, which means they're probably going to need a piece, or they're going to need their guys to put some effort out there defensively. You know, but anyways, you know, we're going to get off of that topic. And, you know, it's a lot going on in this world, man. And, you know, I asked myself, does the government really work for us? Do they really give a F about the American people, or are they just there to enrich themselves and keep themselves in power? You know, because the way, you know, because if you listen to your people and you see your people protesting in the streets and things like that, you would address that if you really work for the people. They're not even caring. They're just going along doing what they're doing because they don't have to answer to nobody. It's the polls, it's the poll. Them polls is fucking bullshit. You know, you gotta follow the money. You know, some people think that they fund Russia to, you know, have money, and they're known for that. You know, they say they funded Russia and Afghanistan when they fought each other. You know, so you want them to, you know, allegedly funded them. Because you got to think, if you're funding Ukraine and you're giving Ukraine weapons, what the hell are you funding them for? To pay the soldiers to? Or are you pocketing the money and using it as a front? Because even if you're giving them weapons, or they're buying weapons, if you're giving them money to fund the war, that means that they're buying weapons, or they got to pay their soldiers. And, you know, giving them, you gave them $5 billion, you gave them billions, man. And then you're giving them weapons, or they turn around and taking the money and buying the weapons back from us. Like, what's going on? Where's the money, man? Or is it going in your pockets? Y'all using wars as a reason to enrich yourselves, man. You know, we need this funding. You got funding for everything else, but you don't give the people of color in this country reparations. But you have money to give the Jewish people, you know, money for the Holocaust. You know, you guys, along with Great Britain, y'all can take over somebody's land and push them out their land and say, hey, you know, you guys can just live over here, and, you know, let somebody come in your house and tell you to get out your room and go sleep on the couch. You have a problem with that, man. So, you know, this is what's going on, man. And they pretty much did the same thing to our people. You know, this country is definitely not for us anyway. The way their laws and the way they govern had nothing to do with us, you know, because when you look at the census, it was whites and then it was everybody else. People of color, you know, they didn't have African American on that census. You know, they just kept making up names and, you know, Negro, you know, black to colored, mulatto, all these different names they called us. Indian. You know, it's funny how our history is like, we get our history from them. Where is the history of America? The real history? You know, they say a lot of different things. So, you know, my thing is, you know, just have some questions of what really took place 1492 and beyond. Because, you know, when you listen to some Muslim historians, they say that Spain was ran by North African and Muslims for over 700 years. They got their independence in 1492, according to some of these scholars. Well, I don't want to say scholars, historians. And, you know, they tried to whitewash, you know, that history away out of their, you know, out of their books by not talking about it, things like that. So we have to find these things. And then, you know, you have some people that say they travel through different, and I haven't traveled to see none of this stuff. I'm just, like I said, I'm not a historian. I'm not none of that stuff. I'm not a scholar. I'm not a, you know, somebody that's sitting around doing a bunch of research all day. I'm just, you know, speaking on some things that other people have, you know, did speeches about it, things like that. And they've said, you know, they've seen, some people have said they haven't seen the racism like they've seen here. Some people say, you know, some places, you know, they look up to people of color, things like that, some rulers and things like that. But like I said, I never was there, so I don't know. I don't know. But my thing is, if you got here 1492, how did you get here? Now, one historian, he said that, you know, they were trying to navigate away from the Arab raiders. Like, they would, you know, in those seas, you know, they were pirating ships. So, you know, they tried to, you know, go around those people and end up over here. But I find that kind of hard to believe. But let's just say that there was some brothers over there that were there and they were controlling the lands. How did they know how to get here? How many people have traveled to get here and know these seas? Obviously, somebody had to know these seas and these oceans. How did they know what areas of the oceans to stay away from? How did they know the route? How did you communicate with the people when you got here? This just seems like a big money grab, if you ask me. Most of this, of the Americas was colonized by Spain. Then you got France, and then Portugal, and you got Great Britain. And, it just seems like a big money grab, man. And ways to, keep generational wealth going. This country's a business, man. And I think, you always got to follow the money, man. Always got to follow the money. I think that these are just my thoughts. Like I said, I am allowed to think. Like I said, I'm not quoting myself as an historian saying everything I'm saying is right. These are just my thoughts. So you brought all these people on boats. This is a story I never really believed either. How did you feed these people? Why would you risk destroying your product by putting them on the bottom of boats? Hundreds of them, you say, right? So you had food for hundreds of people because they didn't go 3 months without eating and drinking water. So you had enough water, because you ain't going to drink the salt water, for your crew. And you needed a crew to be able to, what happens if they rebel or they were just in chains? And okay, so there was some rebellions alleged, right? You think that just 1 or 2 of them is going to rebel? Like, you ever been in prison? They have more than one guard. They may have a guard watching the dorm, but if the riot break out, they got a goon squad coming, or they got other guards that's on standby. So that means you had to have a team. You got to feed that team for 3 months. You have to feed 400 people for 3 months. So where did all this food come from? Like for hundreds of people, they have to eat. So you're gonna kill you're gonna trade off your goods so that they can, for human beings, just for them to die and get over here, or be malnutrition when they get over here. They can't work, can't sell them. So you're just losing money. That doesn't make any sense. So what were the real numbers? You know what I mean? So it's like, make it make sense. How did you get here? How did you communicate with the people? I think what they, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into it. I think they did, but, like, the stories just don't add up. I personally think that there were some brothers involved in getting here, and they saw the opportunity, saw, some things, and I think they sent their own people over here in the beginning, as indentured service as slaves, to work for their freedom or work for wages, whatever. And I think those people saw the opportunities here as well. But I think that, there's always, a bank involved. It's always some type of money grab that's involved, man. So they saw this opportunity here to control the world, and these are not things that are planned in one lifetime. They know, like, all right, order for we work right now just to make sure our kids are good. So what makes you think they didn't say, let's start this generational wealth, and our kids will be good and their kids will be good? And they, I think they outsmarted us for our land. Treaties and promises and, deals and, I think a lot of trade was going on for land and, learning our culture, things like that. And I think, once the numbers got up, and then they, and the trickery kept happening and they started creating their own laws, and then they always want to make it seem like, the brothers are stupid, our intelligence ain't on their level. You gotta be kidding me, man. So here it is, we speaking, most of us are not educated in the first place back in them days because they weren't going to your schools and things like that. Say your formal education. That's like me saying somebody is a dumb Muslim. I mean, a dumb non-Muslim because he's dumb because he don't know Islam. He doesn't study Islam. So how can he be dumb in that? You can say he's a little ignorant. He doesn't know. But he doesn't know because he's never studied it. But once he studies it, he can be just as good as anybody else. So we weren't given a fair shake on, education, things like that. We always pushed to the back, and that was for a reason. So, like I said, does this government really work for us? Do they really care about the people? You got migrants running around out here. You got sanctuary cities. They just doing things to pacify us and keep money rolling in their pockets. Look at these people's net worth before and after they went in office. If they even truthful with that. So, what I'm saying? And our people, man, I wish we were more self-dependent. Plenty of times we've tried, and, you know what I mean? You go into the histories, they show that a lot of our, cities and communities that we built up were destroyed by racism and hate, and jealousy and things like that. Just keep us from having power. But we got to take the power. I'm not here to rile people up either, but, it's sad that we at their mercy, man. Can't make a movie. Can't be a movie star without wearing a dress. You gotta talk the way they want you to talk, think the way they want you to think, or they'll take everything from you it's like they're the parents and we're the kids. And I, wish that we weren't so dependent on just them providing for us, because that's what it seems like. Even with the billionaires, they snatch your contract so quick. So I feel like, yeah, we need them to get up and come up, but pause. But once I think you get in a position, you got some bread, you gotta start fending for yourself, man. And I think we did that and started, inspiring our people. We'll get farther. We're so segregated as a community that it's hard, man. Like, we don't stick together at all. And it's just really sad. You got some good kids, smart kids, and this is not even a black and white issue. This is just a humane issue, because there's non-people of color, you got all type of people here. This government, the people in this government, there's some people that are good people in the government that do care. But once you get to behind those walls, it's different, man. It's real different. Same thing with Hollywood. Once you get behind those walls in Hollywood, it's like, people may come with right intentions and everything, and then you may have some good people in Hollywood that make sure you're good and everything, but once you start to learn them secrets and you get in them rooms, it's a wrap, man. You gotta walk a certain way. And, it's just, like your life will be ruined. So it is what it is, man. What can we do? But, keep striving. And, I know this is an audience to myself. I don't have a big following at all. But, I just like to speak some things on my mind. And like I said, I'm gonna do a channel just sports, and it'll be, I'm just a fan. That's all I am, is a fan. I ain't never played professional sports or anything like that, or been on no, been on no teams, and I'm just a fan, man. I've just been watching sports for 40 years. I'll go outside. I used to go outside, play basketball, football, these kids pick up games, and, so I was always athletic, but I was never like a professional or on some high school or any teams like that. I wasn't good. I just, go outside and just play. But I understand sports. I understand competition. And, I just, want to see more effort. Even in the All-Star game, the basketball is like, there's no effort, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I gotta play, man. Like, I getting paid all this money, play, man. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? This era, man. Like, this era is like, money is so abundant that, what did Marvin Hagler say about sleeping in silk sheets? Want to get up 5 in the morning and run. It's hard to do that. Can't quote him word for word, but he says something like that. It's hard to get up 5 in the morning sleeping in silk sheets. Like, and he's right. So, and that goes in life too. Don't get complacent and happy just because you up. Because anything can happen, man. We all one step away, and this is what these people are showing some of our celebrities when they humbling them. Like, yo, fam, you might be worth $1 billion, but you ain't got $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? So humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? And those dudes will take this from you, that from you, and that from you. Like I said, they treat them like kids. So where's the real free speech? So anyways, I'm out, man. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Many Face Publishing. Peace.